Have you ever heard the tragic tale of a woman once labeled the ugliest woman in the world, a woman whose life was exploited both in life and even after death? This is the heartbreaking story of Julia Pastrana, a woman who deserved dignity but was treated as a spectacle. You're watching BioGraphy Plus, where real stories of extraordinary lives are brought to light. Julia Pastrana was born in 1834, in the rugged mountains of Mexico. From the very beginning, she was different. Julia suffered from two rare medical conditions, hypertrichosis terminalis, a disorder that caused her entire body and face to be covered with thick black hair, and gingival hyperplasia, which gave her lips and gums an unusual appearance. In a world that didn't understand science or compassion, these conditions made Julia a target of cruelty. Her family, and even her community, considered her cursed. To them, she was not a child of flesh and blood, but a monster. Growing up, Julia had little acceptance and no real place in society. Yet behind her unusual appearance was a gentle, kind, and highly intelligent young woman. She had a soft heart, a graceful personality, and a natural talent for music and singing. As she grew older, Julia left home to build her own life. This decision brought her into the hands of showmen who saw her not as a person, but as a product. She was recruited to perform in traveling exhibitions and circuses. Julia was advertised with cruel titles like the Bear Woman, the Ape Woman, and the Nondescript. People paid to stare at her, to mock her, and to whisper about whether she was even human. But what many did not realize was that Julia herself was cultured, gentle, and remarkably talented. She spoke multiple languages, sang beautifully, and was described by some contemporaries as graceful and polite. She bore the humiliation of being exhibited because she had little choice, but she also managed to earn wealth and recognition through it. In the midst of this strange life, Julia met Theodore Lent, a manager who promoted sideshows. Lent exploited Julia for fame and money, yet in a shocking twist, he eventually proposed to her. Their marriage became a subject of gossip across Europe. People wondered, how could any man marry someone considered a freak? For Julia, however, it was a chance at some form of acceptance and stability. In 1860, Julia gave birth to a baby boy. Tragically, her son inherited her rare condition. The baby lived for only 35 hours. Julia herself passed away just days later, at the age of 26. It was a devastating end to a life already filled with so much pain, but Julia's suffering didn't end there. Her husband, Theodore Lent, driven by greed, had her body embalmed. He continued to display her mummified remains in circuses, labeling her with demeaning slogans such as half human, half ape. For decades, her corpse was paraded across Europe, exploited in death just as she had been in life. Her body changed hands many times and was even stolen. Incredibly, it wasn't until 2005, nearly 150 years later, that Julia's remains were discovered abandoned in a garbage bin in Oslo, Norway. Finally, in 2013, Julia Pastrana was laid to rest in her homeland of Mexico, given a proper burial with dignity, the dignity she had been denied all her life. Closing reflection: Julia Pastrana's story is not just about tragedy, it's about the cruelty of a world that failed to see her humanity. She was not a monster or a freak, but a woman with dreams, emotions, and talent. Her life reminds us of the importance of compassion over curiosity and dignity over exploitation. If you found Julia's story moving, make sure to subscribe to BioGraphy Plus for more untold human stories from history. Don't forget to like and share this video, because stories like Julia's deserve to be remembered, not forgotten.